Hello there. If you have been watching this channel for any length of time, the thoroughly amateur nature of what you just saw is not a surprise. If you're new to the channel, and by the way, if I remember correctly, we're at 83 subscribers. We've been, if that's the correct number, whatever number is correct, we've been there for a little while. What this we stuff, Kimosabi? And I was going somewhere and flipped right out of my mind. I can forget what I'm talking about in mid-sentence. I don't always do that. I don't even necessarily often do that. But it does happen, and it happened here. Anyway, we're thoroughly amateur, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like the channel. If you don't, obviously you shouldn't subscribe. If you like the video, please click the like button and share it. You know, I share these videos in 3 groups on MeWe. I'm not on Facebook at all. I don't bother with Twitter. I also have an account on Truth Social. As soon as I went there and found out it's a Twitter clone, I said, forget this mess. Sometimes you need more than 3 sentences to say something clearly and cogently. But anyway, that started with talking about the amateur quality of this deal. Today, I'm going to re-review something. If you go back in my reviews far enough, I'm pretty sure that I did review this particular whiskey. It's going to be a very, very, very thoroughly amateur video. But if you want to go back and if you can ignore or live with the really bad quality of it, then you'll find then you might want to look at that and compare with this and get a better idea of what I'm talking about. The bottle I want to review tonight is Wild Turkey 101. Now this is one of the standard bourbons. This is, everybody drinks Wild Turkey. It's an interesting distillery. Jimmy Russell has worked there for, not always in the same job, but he has worked at that distillery for over 70 years. I'm going to be 66 in April of 2026. I'm recording this on March the 1st of 2026. When I'll upload it, I don't know. I may be 67 by the time this gets on YouTube. But right now I'm 65. I will be 66 next month. I have not been alive as long as Jimmy Russell has worked for Wild Turkey. He's been there 70 years since 1950 something. I can't do the math any clearer than that. When he started there, my wife was a child, and she's 79. That's how long he's worked there. But Wild Turkey, it wasn't always called Wild Turkey. The name came about when Austin Nichols, it used to be the Austin Nichols Distillery, he would go turkey hunting with his friends, and he'd tap a barrel and take some whiskey along, and they got to asking after that wild turkey hunting whiskey. And that's how it got the name and the symbol. I don't know how well you can see this glass embossment here. It used to be a bigger label with the turkey printed on it. But this Wild Turkey 101 is their main whiskey. They have an 81 proof. They've got an 8-year. They've got various other expressions. They've got the rare breed, which I love. They've got the Russell's Reserve. I tried their 10-year. I didn't like it at all. I've never had the Kentucky Spirit. It's been outside my reach, which is longer than it used to be, but still isn't too long. I didn't think to look up the mash bill, but for their bourbon, Wild Turkey uses one mash bill. It's all the same. Whether it's this, whether it's Rare Breed, whether it's Russell's Reserve, it doesn't matter. It's the same mash bill. This regular Wild Turkey 101, it doesn't have an age statement on the bottle. It's straight bourbon whiskey, which means it's at least 4 years old to be without an age statement. And what I've seen here and there is that it's probably 6-year-old bourbon. All the same mash bill as I mentioned. And a little of my personal history with this. Back in 2021, when I first started drinking whiskey, I got me a plastic pint bottle, what I call a pint. It's roughly equivalent to it, of turkey. And the only way I really enjoyed it was as bourbon and branch. Put a little bit of water in there, and it doesn't take but a couple, 3 drops usually. I said, bourbon and branch, I really don't want to mess with putting water in, so I went a while, didn't try it again. When I did, I guess I had gained more experience at understanding what I tasted, at evaluating bourbon, at appreciating bourbon, and I liked it, and I kept on liking it up until the fall of 2024. And I noticed, and I'm not the only one, Kurt on SLB Drinks especially noticed it, but others did too that I've seen online. Something happened. The quality of the Wild Turkey 101 went way down. It just did not taste good in the fall of 2024. And I finished that bottle, and I didn't get another one till the spring of 2025. And it was better, but it was not the same. Wild Turkey 101 used to be a dark, earthy, substantial whiskey. That it went right along with Evan Williams Bottled in Bond and Old Forester 100 in that general profile. That bottle of Turkey 101 that I got in spring of 2025 was brighter, sweeter, fruitier. Not bad, but not what I wanted. And so I went nearly a year before I got this bottle. I bought this on the 10th of February this year, so just shy of a month ago. Cost me $28.29 at Kelly Liquors, so $29 bottle, which is not a bad price for good bourbon. And I'll tell you what I get as I go, but the reason I'm reviewing it is I don't really like it unless I find that on this, I believe, 4th glass, it has opened up enough to be better. But let me go ahead and just taste the whiskey, evaluate the whiskey, let you know what I'm getting, see what I find out. And that is definitely a sweeter profile than I want from Wild Turkey, or a sweeter nose. Primarily honey with a little cinnamon in there. One of the good things about this is although it's a 101 proof, it does not spike your nostrils. I'm sticking my nose right in there. It's not scorching me at all. I'm getting the honey, I'm getting the cinnamon. There's something else in there. Kind of a candy note, caramel, butterscotch, something like that. It's not definite enough for me to be definite. But that's really all I'm getting. And that's not what Wild Turkey 101 used to be. Now, just so you'll know, this is just so you don't, well, that's starting to come out wrong. My palate is not bollocksed up. I just a few minutes ago finished a glass of Knob Creek 9 year, which is 100 proof, so just 1 point lower than this. I got the nose that I expected. I got the palate and the finish that I expected. So I'm not coming to this with a palate that's not working right. If it wasn't, I wouldn't do the review, because I want to give you the best that I can. And I'm just not getting anything other than what I've already mentioned. That is way too sweet for Wild Turkey 101. It's giving me kind of a syrupy taste. It's kind of like if you took good honey and mixed it in with water real good so that it was thin but still had the honey taste. That's pretty much what I'm getting here. And I should not get anything like that from Wild Turkey, not from the 101. It should not be thin. It should not be that sweet. It should not be so much honey. That's all I'm getting. It's such a sad thing when what used to be a really good whiskey becomes bottom shelf quality. And I hate saying these things because Wild Turkey was one of my standards. As I said, it used to go along with the Old Forester 100 and the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Those three stood together as dark, earthy, substantial, solid whiskeys. You could lean up on them and they'd hold your weight. And now this is fluff. It's sweet fluff. In fact, I'm getting a little bit of a floral note here. I never got floral from the turkey. Like I'm sniffing on honeysuckle. And there's nothing wrong, mind you, with that note. It's just not what I should be getting from Wild Turkey 101. This is a totally different profile. I got some cinnamon and brown sugar that time, but not much. The mouthfeel is even a little thin. Now, it's 101. You're not going to get the kind of a mouthfeel you get from a 120 proof bourbon. I understand that. But at 101, it shouldn't be thin. And the mouthfeel is a little thin. I have been trying not to arrive where I am. I could keep on tasting this, and let me get you a finished sip. little bit chemically, artificial fruit flavor, kind of mingled different flavors, mostly citrus, I think. Some brown sugar, alcohol heat. I've been trying not to arrive where I am, which is Wild Turkey 101 is dead. I don't know what happened at that distillery, but I don't plan to ever buy another bottle of this. And I used to love it. If you've been watching different whiskey channels, you will have seen that for a while there's been a debate about early times bottled in a bond. No, I've never even seen the stuff. It's never appeared here. But I can't remember who used to own it. Sazerac bought it, the same company that owns Buffalo Trace. And for a while they were using pre-existing barrels, but a different blending team, and the taste seemed to change a little. But now they've exhausted those pre-existing barrels and they're using Buffalo Trace whiskey to make early times bottled in bond. I've seen two different reviews of it, one on SLB Drinks and the other on Stuff and Whiskey, and apparently it has just dove through the floor. It doesn't seem to be good at all anymore. That's kind of what seems to have happened here. Now why? After being at the distillery so long, has Jimmy Russell backed off far enough from, and he's been the master distiller, not for the whole 70 plus years, but for a lot of years. Has he backed off from that far enough that he's no longer controlling the profile that goes into these bottles? It wouldn't surprise me. He's an old man. And although he loves the distillery, he loves the whiskey, he loves his work, there's no way he's doing as much as he used to. I'm only 65, going on 66. I can't do everything I used to. His son, Eddie, who I believe is the master distiller now, and these are things I could have looked up. It just never occurred to me. I was focused on tasting the actual whiskey. When I focus on something, I sometimes miss other things I should catch. Is Eddie's palate that much different that what he is putting together just doesn't taste like the turkey should? Is somebody else selecting and blending barrels for Wild Turkey 101 batches? I don't know. Some will pretend to know out there in whiskey land. Some may have actual information. I won't pretend I don't know. But it's not what it used to be. And I will not buy another bottle of Wild Turkey 101 until and unless people whose palates I trust try it and say, yes, it's back to where it was before 2024. My handwritten, it's even on the back of a whiskey tasting sheet. I have the thing printed in a document on my computer. I wrote it out by hand. My whiskey rating scale, 1 is the lowest, 8 is the highest. I'm going to give it a 3, mediocre. It's not bad enough. I'm not even sure if that's the right way to put it. It's not, the quality is not down low enough to give it a 2. It's certainly not better than a 3. So it's 3, mediocre. And that saddens me. And I've said this in different ways already in this video. This used to be very good whiskey. Maybe not the greatest whiskey on earth, but it was good. And now it's mediocre. The profile is shot. It's a very simple whiskey now. No complexity to it. So 3, mediocre, 1.875 stars. Not even 2 stars. 37.5 out of 100. 3.75 out of 10. I don't know a sad toast. So here's how.